So you want to improve your early game in Fortnite, either in scrims or public games. In this video, you will learn tips, tricks, and techniques on how to improve your early game. But before I actually go into the game, I want to take you through some of my settings. So these are some settings that most people have on, but if you want to improve in scrims or you want more FPS for later games, I advise turning that, and that off. Anti-aliasing, textures, effects, and post-processing. So these make your game look better, but they take up a lot of FPS. So I advise applying that. Also, motion blur. As you can see when I'm spinning my character around, you can see everything pretty blurred up, and it's pretty hard to hit a shot if you're trying to like flick shot. What you want to do is you want to turn that off. As you can see, it's a lot more clearer. This is mostly just to try and make your game look smoother, but it's a lot harder to hit your shots. Another thing a lot of pros players do is they put on Duke Up 7 up to 10, or even 6 sometimes. This is just to help you look better in the storm through late game. But these are just the settings I have on. Now onto the early game. I'm going to be taking us into Lucky Landing, as it is just an average place and it's really easy to explain how, like, my tips and tricks. This works with all small POIs like Lucky Landing, or even non-POIs like over here, Westworld, and other POIs like Happy Hammer, Frosty. So these are just some tips and tricks. When coming to a game, the first thing you need to think about is where you're going to land. You want to try and land somewhere really comfortable and you know your way around. So places like Salty, Loot Lake, Pleasant have been in the game for quite a long time, so a lot of people are really comfortable going there. So if you're a newcomer, you might not want to land at them places, as people just know it a lot better than you. You want to land at new places, places that have just come into the game, like Pressure Plant, Lazy Lagoon, just other places, just brand new places, or even the block, because it puts you at a similar playing field to everyone else. So coming to land, there's two main areas that you go. This south side or north side. Landing at south side is pretty easy. Most of what you do is you get guns, and then you sit either up the hill, take shots down, sit on top of the house, or rotate over to that tower there. Landing at this side over here is a lot more strategical, as you can loot up this area here and then hold some players out on this hill and that hill. As zone is mostly going up north, it's a lot easier to hold players out. This works at like most small POIs, like I said before, as all the other POIs are like round the edges of the map. So if you go close to the center, it's a lot easier to hold players if you have decent loot. Also, if you don't have that good loot, you can rotate over to this temple, or you can rotate over to the pig if you land at the back. But if your loot is not good, you should try and rotate away as quick as possible before you engage in any combat. Another tip I forgot to mention is never try and go directly through the area. You always want to flank people around the edges, or even not even in the place, but try and get top of high ground around it. This is better if you have like an AR or some sort of mid-range gun, if you don't have a combat shotgun, as it's pretty hard to find now. It has a 3% drop rate, I think. So a large POI like Paradise Palms is a lot harder to control, as it is a larger area. But what I would suggest is, just like Lucky, you want to go around the edges and try and hold off an area. So a tip a lot of pro players do is they try and take over one house, then they take over two, and they try and hold a corner of the area. When you have control of an area, it's a lot easier to push and start making your way over to the whole area. So once say you take over this corner here, you want to take over that house too, these houses, which allow you to have half of Paradise Palms, which you have a good chance of getting better loot from. Once you take over this, you want to try and take over a bit more, and you want to gradually keep going up until you take over most of Paradise. Then all you have left is the big tower, which a team normally sits on the top on with a boombox because they're really lucky, or a heavy sniper. Tiny Timmy will be sat right there, just aiming at you the entire time, so you could try and get some shots off. Once you have this area controlled, it's a lot easier to try and take over the large building over there, as all you have to do is just build up a bit more for high ground while your teammate is pushing up another side. If you're solo, I recommend not doing this tactic. So if you are solo, I recommend just taking up some loot, and if your loot is bad, going over to the rifts by there, or go into the sky base. Whereas if you land at the back, you can rotate all the way back to the John Wick house, or over to an ice cream parlour just over there. This works with a lot of big places like Tilted, Mega Mall, places like Sunny Steps, whereas tips for Lucky Landing that I showed would work for Pressure Plant, Frosty, Polar, and other small places. So a theme going through this place is you want to have control over most of the area, so that you can take. So it's a lot easier to take over like a large building in the middle, or a big place where it's practically 100% guaranteed that someone would land there. Thanks for watching this part 1 of 3 series. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like. If you want to keep up to date with the rest of the series, subscribe and comment if I've missed any tips or tricks. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.